What's up, guys? This is the Game Addicts podcast right here on the Journey to Comics YouTube channel. I'm your host, Brando. Right along, this time on Skype with this podcast player too, Mike.
Oh, hello.
Hey, that kind of rhymed a little. What's going on, man?
Oh, another day in paradise.
You know what? Normally, this whole Skype thing, we live so close. It's like, why aren't we together? Well, it's kind of hot, and I don't have AC in the game room this year.
Yes.
So we decided to belay the in-person podcast for this time. We had a little bit problems with our recording software, and I really hope that it works because I don't want to talk for an hour. I mean, not that I just wouldn't want to talk to you without the recorder going,
Right.
but for the sake of the show, would like to at least record it. It has been a little while since we met up. The last episode we did, Pokemon Go, just came out.
Yes.
And I was just testing it out. Since then, it has taken the world by storm. A couple of updates later. In some facets, I can see it slowing down a little. In other ways, I still see it as active as ever on my Facebook. So
It has slowed down, but they are working on a new tracking tool, basically.
yeah, I did see that, and I saw a little bit how that works. I've also heard rumors about them adding the second generation Pokemon from Gold and Silver. Might be coming in. I don't know when. That's just something that's kind of in the pipeline. Obviously, they want to give people enough chance to catch the original 146, however many they actually have on the Pokédex that are catchable, because the legendary birds, Mewtwo and Mew, are not at the moment catchable. So,
Right.
however, I don't know if you knew this, but you can actually catch the region exclusive ones. You can actually hatch those out of eggs.
Region exclusive.
They have region exclusive ones. To North America, it's Tauros. To Europe, it's Mr. Mime. To Asia, it is Farfetch'd. And there's one for Australia there too. I can't remember which one it is. But of those ones, it's like, okay, so you can't catch a Farfetch'd unless you go to Asia, somewhere, an Asian country. But you can hatch one out of an egg, which is like for a lot of these, they are they're like 5 kilometer egg, and they are about a 2.8 something % chance of catching that one. So
Huh.
so good luck.
Right.
But it is possible. People have done it. So Pokemon Go is still going pretty strong. Other than that, because I know we played some of that over our time, we hung out and played that a little bit. What you been playing, man?
Well, currently I've been playing Other M Metroid.
Oh yeah,
It's a fantastic game.
yeah. I own that
But
as
other than
well.
that, that's all I've really had time for.
Yeah, you know what? Currently, since we both work at the same place, there's a lot of overtime going along right now. It's really hot, so it's like you get home and you're just exhausted, so you
Yep.
don't really feel like doing much.
Yeah.
So,
And the wedding's coming
no,
up.
yeah, and your wedding, so there's definitely stuff on your end. I've actually been playing the Mass Effect series over again, and one reason is because Andromeda's coming around next year, so I hope, as long as it doesn't get delayed again. But
Right.
a long time ago, they said keep your saves. It may work. Now they're saying, it Mass Effect 3's ending doesn't affect this series, and it's set 300 years later, which you could pretty much clue into where and how this series takes place. Like, they obviously travel to Andromeda. It takes a long time to get there, so they probably leave sometime during the events of the original trilogy. So I would assume that maybe some of the choices and stuff that you made might carry over for just conversation pieces.
Right.
With the crew, and honestly, it may not. They may be able to work that out to where, it's all a big question, and it's just little things in there that are canon anyways. But
Well, it all depends on where they start that specific point. Well, where they start their specific point of them leaving
mhm.
our solar system and going to the Andromeda system. So, you don't know what's happened. They could have left close to the beginning, so they have no idea how, Mass Effect 3 that it even happened.
I predict they leave some point after two, or to to before the end of 3. I believe that this is a program that several different groups got into, and they were relatively secret. It was a hidden program, and they sent off the arcs, and simply because it's taken so long to get there, and the galaxy that they once knew is not there anymore. Depending on, because it's the ending of the series happens while they're gone, so either everyone's destroyed or one of your decisions at the end of 3 is now the new canon, but their communication is not, they can't communicate back. They have no idea what happened. So, you know what? I sold my Xbox a long time ago. The old, my old 120 gig Elite that I had. And I bought my R2-D2 Slim a while back. And honestly, I played through the trilogy on the PS3 after I sold my stuff. And that was the last time I played it. And I believe that was in 2013. So then, fast forward to now, it's like, there's a reason I'm doing it. And that if the saves, number one, I enjoy playing the series anyway. So, just going right back to it, not knowing what to play, I started playing Mass Effect 1. I got sucked right back into it. It's not easy. It's not, hard for me to just go right back into it and start playing it again. But the little shoe-in, my little excuse is that my BioWare account on the PlayStation is messed up. Or let me say PS3. My BioWare account for Origin, for Xbox 360, and PS4 are all the same. I do not have access to my PS3 one because it is tied to Silent Rob's email.
All right.
Because we used to own a PS3. So I played through Dragon Age Origins on PS3. I didn't get to play 2 before Inquisition came out, but I wanted to go right to Inquisition. I could not carry over any of my data. I couldn't upload that, to the BioWare servers, and I could not download that from the servers onto Inquisition. So I had to pretty much go on their little website and pick the best that I could. And it was pretty close. There was a couple things that were different. But I can't do that. So I want to make sure that if anything, that if there is a chance that these things do work, it'll carry over my Mass Effect gameplay, my Mass Effect saves, the same decisions I made on my initial playthrough. That's all I'm doing with this. So that's why I'm doing it, other than the fact that I love the fucking series. So I'm on Mass Effect 2 now, and I'm almost done with it. I'm just plowing right through it.
Well, you know every inch of it, so.
Well, what's cool is that even to this day, there's stuff that I forget about, or like for Mass Effect 1, there were things that on my PS3 playthrough that I'd never seen before. Because on Mass Effect 1, they really encourage you just to go places.
Right.
Go over here, click on every planet. There might be something there, and there are missions that you can only access just by randomly going to some planet in some system. And there's stuff like that in Mass Effect 2 as well, to encourage you to do that. But they also encourage you to explore by doing your little mining, your little probing of each planet for minerals and shit that takes forever. But that's what I've been playing. I'm still playing Persona 4 Golden, off and on. So I'm still trying to get through that before Persona 5 comes out next year. But you mentioned Metroid Other M. Was that a new pickup?
It was.
What all, in a brief rundown, what all have you picked up recently?
Metroid, the collection of Metroid on the Wii. So
okay, Metroid.
Like those, Corruption, and then Other M, Skyward Sword. I found that for a reasonable price.
Yep.
The Strike. It's a fishing game. I always liked it. It's kind of neat. I love all the little pieces, like the gun, the shotgun. Those things are really neat for the Wii. It just sucks that they didn't get utilized like they should have. I bought some of those. Trying to think of other games. I think that's about it, other than Illusion of Gaia. I haven't mentioned that one.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
And I think there might be one more.
I tracked that one down a while back because I actually have the predecessor game to that, Soul Blazer.
Right.
I picked that up first, and then Illusion of Gaia, and the third game never came out here. But you can get a reproduction of it.
In English?
In English, fully translated. It's basically a ROM put onto a cart, and it's a full reproduction with a reproduction box and everything. It's called Terranigma. And that way you can have the whole trilogy. I'm thinking of doing that because it's not really that expensive.
Oh, and another one. I picked up the Umbrella Chronicles.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, see, that was really cool. I liked how they did that little rail shooter. The Wii is perfect for that, kind of stuff. They also had Dark Side Chronicles for that.
Yes, and that was actually almost $20. I thought about picking it up, but I was like, a little too much for my blood.
Yeah, you know what? I've been sticking to my guns and not buying a whole lot this summer. Anything really. I haven't bought anything new. I haven't bought anything old. That's a fib. I bought two things old, and you bought me something old.
Well, that don't count, but
well, no, but it is still a pickup. You gave it to me, and I picked it up. But you bought me
sure.
You bought me Mega Man 1 on NES. Slowly gonna chip away at those. Get my NES collection where I want it because I'm not a guy that wants a wall full of NES games. I like the NES. I really love the NES, in fact. But I don't need a full library, man. I got the games mostly that I really want to play.
Well, I mean, the Mega Mans you're going to pick up eventually, and they're pricey.
Yeah, well,
that's why I got you the first one because it's the harder one to find, in my opinion.
Well, actually, I've run across that 1 and 2 are one of the ones I come across the most. The one I have come across the least is 5.
See, 3 and 4 I've seen a lot. 5 probably is, less.
I think 5 is the most expensive one too.
That might be. It might be. I thought the first one was the most expensive one. But
no, dude. Like, I want to say like
the rest of them are like $20 or $30.
They go around that. Mega Man 5 is actually like pretty expensive if I remember correctly.
I don't know. Let's find out.
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, well, never mind.
Right here, live on the show, because I don't want to sound like an idiot. Yeah, Mega Man 5 on the price chart is $95.
What? It was not $95 at our disc replay the last time I went there.
No, that's not where they're going to put it. But that is the current relative going price. Mega Man 4, $32. Mega Man 3, $20.
Yeah.
2, I'm going to guess 20.
40.
25.
25.
And then 6, because I need to go back to 6, 47.
Yeah.
And then just regular Mega Man. Wow, 65?
Mm-hmm.
Is that how much you paid for it?
No.
I didn't think so, because I thought at our disc replay it was about $20.
No, it's 50.
It was 50?
Yes.
Gee.
And I looked around at some place online and checked the prices around, not just on our app, but around at some other stores, and 50 was a really good price. It was about 65 everywhere else.
Well, if you want to think about the other stores that might have it, are probably gonna jack it up a little bit too around us.
Well, I'm saying online. I checked online.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, around us they didn't even have anything of that caliber. So
Mega Man 7 on Super Nintendo, $177.
Yep. It's a lot.
Mega Man 8 PlayStation, $11. 20.
Legends, 50.
Is that where Legends is at right now?
It was at 50, I believe. Unless it shot up.
Legends is currently for complete is $30.
$30 too?
Legends 2 complete currently $66.
Yeah.
So that's gone down just a tad because last time I checked that it was over 70.
Yeah, it was like 80, almost $80.
But anyway, you got me Mega Man. That's awesome. I believe I mentioned this on the last episode, but I got Demon's Crest back in June.
Yes.
And then just most recently, 2 weeks ago, I bought Metroid 2, Return of Samus. So I got that for $8. Really, really happy. They had 2 copies. And what looked like a slight label variation.
What do you mean, slight label variation?
Like it looked like slightly different artwork between the 2 copies they had. And from like my guess is that it's one's one printing and one's like a second printing or something.
So it wasn't. Which one did you pick up? The one where she's on one knee with her gun on her knee pointing up?
Okay, so they both look like they're both the same, basically art, but they are slightly different. Because you know what? It was weird because it threw me off. And I did not know that there was a difference, but they didn't have them priced any differently. And the day before that, I should have bought that Pokemon Blue for $8 too.
Yeah, the price of the old Pokemon games has.
Yeah, kind of shut up a little bit. But honestly, that's my only pickups, just as those ones. I got a couple pre-orders we'll talk about here in a little bit. However, we've got a lot of news to discuss. A lot of it I haven't told you because it's funnier and it's awesome to hear your gut reaction.
And I haven't kept up with anything because I've been pressing to get the wedding stuff fixed.
So the Xbox One S came out and it's doing very well. It's the 2 terabyte model, $499. It's sold out in a lot of places apparently, and Microsoft won't be making any more. Apparently, the Gears of War limited edition is like the next one of these that they're guaranteed to come out with.
Right.
And that's coming out mid-September. And basically, it's like they've said 500 gigabyte, 1 terabyte models are coming, but they haven't been getting a hard date. Amazon lists their release date for August 23rd, but Microsoft hasn't said that's the date.
What game for? I had like Gears of War. In October 11th.
Okay, these consoles are shipping out in mid-September. Yeah. That doesn't mean they're going on sale yet.
Right.
So, yeah, like I thought this was really odd because apparently it's doing very well. Now, apparently, and this was just posted today. There's a deal. Where I believe it's on, was it on Amazon? Or is it on, no, it's on eBay. Of all places, eBay.
What? A deal on eBay?
Alright, so you get the 2 terabyte the Xbox One S 2 terabyte console, plus Rainbow Six Siege, Metal Gear Solid 5, The Division, and Dishonored Definitive Edition for $400.
Wow.
Yeah, that is a great freaking deal. There's 3 left.
Shit. If I had the money, I would get it.
Yeah, that's
a 2 terabyte system?
Yeah.
Wow.
And basically, you're getting 4 games for free because the system itself is $400. Now,
I thought was it 5, or is that with the Gears of War edition is $500?
I didn't look at a price for the Gears. I haven't even looked at it, to be honest with you. But $400 is the 2 terabyte model price. I assume that if they're going to do a $300 for a 500 gigabyte, $350 for a terabyte, $400 for two terabytes. If and when they do replenish the regular stock white models, if you will,
well, hopefully they restock the 2 terabyte because obviously it's doing very well right now.
It is, and okay, so I looked up the Gears of War limited edition bundle. 2 terabyte model is $450.
Huh.
and it's in the blood red with the
Right.
skull cog, and it's probably going to have a digital copy of the game in there with it. So,
Yeah, yeah, more than likely.
and you know what? It doesn't say anywhere on that eBay listing if, I mean, granted, I guess I'm lazy and I didn't really look at it. If those games were in fact, physical or digital or not. In fact, on my phone, I have dumbly closed that tab. So basically, yeah, and I believe there was also a promo code for you to just get just the system for no games, right?
Okay.
Um, for you to be able to get the 2 terabyte for $360, $40 discount, and the original Xbox One apparently is on sale, probably the 500 gigabyte model, with one free game for $220.
Wow.
So yeah, Microsoft really trying to do what they can to move these units out. I don't have a source, but I do believe I read that they took the month of July for top console sold. So
I would assume so. I mean, the release of the pre-order of that.
well, if it's July, that means that those aren't really affected yet. I mean, because they haven't been shipped. So what they had not, those are probably going to go out for August. What I'm probably thinking is that with that model coming out, a lot of the older models are probably discounted, and people were then go, all right, I'm buying these old ones because it's now going to be cheaper, and I don't care about 4K streaming. Me personally, I'm tempted to get one because of how much space I don't have in the game room, and the actual size of that damn thing is relative. It's a relative to the PS4, stock. So I could, use a little bit extra space. But
Yeah.
with that being said, speaking of space, so Battlefield 1 is coming out this fall, and
Yes.
at E3 it impressed both of us.
Yes,
You
it did.
you being a, shooter fan, and me not really being a shooter fan. There's a
Well, I mean, used to be a shooter fan. They're starting to fall off, but
be that as it may, there's of course a collector's edition coming out for $130. That doesn't include the game.
what?
It includes a 14-inch statue, exclusive steelbook, cloth poster, deck of playing cards, messenger pigeon tube containing exclusive DLC, a pat,
Really?
a patch, premium packaging without the game. So if you bought this, you'd still have to buy the $60 game for a total of $190. There is a $210 deluxe edition, which gives you the early day one edition of the game. Um, but that looks like it's called the early enlister version, which is $20 more than the base game. So as cool as this game looks, it kind of sounds like EA's pulling some of their old tricks. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, is this going to affect most people? No. Uh, this is going to affect the people who are really into Battlefield that really want this stuff. People who just want the game, they're gonna buy the game, and that's going to be it. I mean, to be honest with you, this is kind of shitty that doesn't come with a fucking game. Um,
Yeah, it is.
I do remember there being, I believe it was Halo 5. Halo 5 had a collector's edition that came with a digital copy of the game. Like, it had all this badass shit in it, just like that, with a digital fucking copy.
Why though? I'll never understand it. I
Okay,
won't.
and the thing is that you're buying a collector's edition. Wouldn't you
With
expect to get a
fucking
copy
game.
of the game, an actual
Right.
physical copy? So, what they actually did is that people bitched, and they allowed you to send in your digital copy, and they sent them a hard copy of the game.
It should have.
So that's what they did. This doesn't, of course. I mean, that just kind of baffled me. I read that and I'm like, I definitely want to, I definitely want to hear your like disbelief at that.
I don't understand that. It blows my mind that you would have a collector's edition of the game without the game. Like, I don't know. That doesn't make any sense. It just says, here's a box of cool shit about Battlefield.
Um,
That's all you get.
the the person who wrote the article on, and I pulled this from IGN. When it lists all the stuff, it says like it lists all the stuff in it. 14-inch statue, not the game. Exclusive steelbook, not the game. Cloth poster, not the game. Deck of playing cards, different game. Exclusive exclusive DLC for the game, but not the game.
For the game, but not the game.
Yeah, dude, it kind of baffles me a little bit. Some of the weird business practices that they do nowadays. I hope it does well. I have a feeling deep down that it's going to be it's going to do a lot better than Call of Duty this year. As long as it comes out swinging and there's nothing wrong with it, unlike Battlefield 4, which had a lot of issues. As long as it comes out and it plays good and there's no media issues, I can see with the majority of fans annoyed by the direction that Call of Duty is going in and feeling like they have to give them the remastered version of Modern Warfare 1 to hook them back in to play this one. People have been wanting a change of pace. Let's not keep going this way. We want to, there are even people who are saying, let's go back to World War II. Let's just go back there for a game and have some fun there. This is different. This is them trying something completely different. World War I is something that hasn't been done before. It's risky. And it looks like it's going to pay off because all the gameplay they showed at E3, all those celebrities playing the game, it looked freaking good. So I really hope that does well. Moving on here, the PS4 Neo is going to be revealed in September. Sony's now sending out invitations for an event in New York, simply called PlayStation Meeting, on September 7th. They have no specifics, but multiple reports are emerged indicating that it'll reveal the new PS4 Neo console at a technical showcase. So we're gonna
get a release date.
Yeah, they're probably gonna give a release date, and it's probably gonna be for the holiday of this year.
I'm hoping for October or, like you said, holiday of this year.
Yeah, I can definitely see them doing November, honestly, because they're going to be pushing out the VR hardware in October, and that works with the stock PS4. It's supposed to work.
But it's crap.
Well, I haven't heard it. I haven't heard that it's crap. I heard it's going to work better with this. So what I can imagine them doing is saying, "Hey, you bought a PSVR? Get a Neo," or whatever they call it. And then what they'll do is that they'll probably have some bundles, holiday bundles with both the VR set and the new Neo set.
That's going to be pricey there.
Oh, it will be. It will be.
$800, $900.
There's also supposed to be another reveal in September.
At the PlayStation?
No. From Nintendo.
Oh, yes. NX.
Apparently, rumor has it that the NX will be officially revealed in September for them to begin the marketing campaign to push the new handheld console hybrid, apparently, is what it's going to be. Now, this news broke at the end of July. Of course, we didn't meet up until now. So now,
right.
You and me have actually sort of talked about this a little bit at work. But I actually have the actual Eurogamer article that broke this down. And it really seems like they're going to try and do with this console, like, how they messed up the marketing of the Wii U, as in there really was none, and the first marketing that they came out with was trying to appeal to grandmas and aunts again, which was the Wii, and it was the wrong freaking marketing campaign, and as soon as that didn't work, you saw no more Wii U marketing. Other than like the occasional ad for when Smash Brothers came out or Mario Kart 8 came out, you saw an ad, or Splatoon. I saw a lot of Splatoon ads. That was it.
those three really helped push those units out the
Oh, they
door.
did, and so did Mario Maker as well. But unfortunately, it's still the worst selling main Nintendo console to date. I mean, it literally it might have just beat out the Dreamcast, and the Dreamcast sold that many in like a year. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's altogether pretty bad. The Wii U is a big disappointment. I love the Wii U though, and it's way better than what I honestly I feel like sometimes I like it better than what I should. But me, I don't judge things based on just graphics alone. Unfortunately, in the current marketplace, there was just no room for it, especially as we got into the current generation of stuff. Now, this is going to be the NX will function as a high-powered handheld console with its own display. So, normal stuff here, but it's gonna. Uh, Here's the twist: is that they've heard that the screen is going to be bookended by two controller sections on either side that can be attached and detached as required.
Huh.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird concept. So then,
I mean, it could work. I mean,
yeah,
you think about it, they could just basically take the Wiimote and Nunchuck and place it in the side of it. It snaps
the
in.
little picture here that is posted looks like it's like a tablet with two controller parts attached to the sides of it. And then you have a thumbstick and a D-pad, thumbstick and the face buttons, just like the Wii U has right now.
Right.
And then those two sides pop off of it, to where you have two separate sides of a controller. That
I wonder if they connect together.
You know what?
Once.
They might, and I do imagine that you're going to have the same amount of buttons as there are on the Wii U, or that is required by Zelda, because they have said Zelda Breath of the Wild is going to play the exact same on Wii U and on NX.
So it's going to have relatively the same
Yes,
schematic.
and then touch, they're doing less with touch. Why? Obviously because of the NX. Can you probably do touch on here? Sure. But the thing is that this is going to be the main screen. So a lot of times the touch stuff on the Wii U, you would have your screen on the TV and touch stuff on your pad doing control stuff. That might not be the way here. So
Well, what they could also do is basically make side menus.
yeah,
So those would be extremely useful. I've always wondered why they haven't done that with the Wii U, but
some did.
what's
Some did. I know that Mass Effect 3 had touch-based power assignment for your like allies instead of going into your wheel or going. You can assign one power each to like the D-pad or something like that. Where it's like, hey, use overload, hey, use warp. Now you can do like a couple each, and then on the actual screen on like the pad itself was a map of the area.
right?
And then so you saw enemy dots and you and your allies, and then above and below it you had little touch areas where you could tell them to use powers. So it's been done, but it's not widely used as far as I'm aware. Now, as far as what kind of power this thing is going to have, apparently the rumor is it's going to be running by NVIDIA Tegra technology. Namely, the big rumor is the NVIDIA Tegra X1, which is pretty much going to put it somewhere between the power of PS3, PS4. The other rumor is possibly X2, which honestly, that chip people don't know a lot about. It's not even like details aren't even beginning to go through yet. However, in terms of the capabilities of the Tegra X1, the Doom BFG edition on 360 and PS3 runs at 720p, 60 frames per second with frame drops.
Right.
Okay, the same game running on a Shield Android TV micro console based on the X1 Tegra chip is near flawless 1080p 60 frames presentation. So, like, basically, it's pretty damn freaking good. Like, to think that this thing is it's gonna be a hybrid, right? But
To be a handheld,
it's a handheld. That's crazy. Like the 3DS. Like, okay, so the PS Vita is offering you near PS3 quality experience. You know, This is
Yeah.
going to offer you above and beyond that. Not quite PS4.
Yeah.
And if the X2 chip is in it, it's going to be at PS4 level. Probably won't. That's my my prediction is that it won't.
Well, it'll be okay. I mean, that would be okay because you're talking about the first true 1080p handheld device that's able to connect to a television. I mean, that's phenomenal.
Oh yeah, I mean it's going to be great. I really hope that they do well with it. The other thing is that it's going to the system. It's going to be all the rumors point to cartridges, and apparently Nintendo recommends a 32 gigabyte cartridge, which is smaller than main games now, like GTA 5 is 50, Halo 5 is 50 gigs plus extra for multiplayer and updates. The overall size of Halo 5 is over 60 gigabytes.
So you're looking at another Nintendo console with a very small amount of internal memory.
But, alright, this is on a handheld. So, I mean, this is going to be running off a cartridge, so it's going to be flash. It's going to be like the 3DS. It's going to be like the DS. It's going to be like the Vita, right? It's going to be very similar in mind. So and all that data travels faster than on an optical drive.
Yes, true.
So could there possibly be an upgrade to 64 gigabytes with that? Maybe. I don't know. But if it only goes to 32 gigabytes and they have to downsize that for the handheld, because when you have a smaller screen, smaller resolution, smaller, it doesn't have to work as hard.
Right.
Maybe that'll affect it when it goes onto the TV. Maybe it won't run as great as what you will get on a PS4. But it's obvious they're not trying to compete with that. They're letting PS4, Xbox One hash it out. They're trying to do their own thing here. Yeah.
Well, that's Nintendo. I mean, they jumped out of the race after the.
Oh yeah. I mean, and you're right. They're trying to do their own thing here, and their marketing campaign is going to be pretty simple, as far as I understand. It's going to be take your games with you. It's going to be like, hey, you like Zelda Breath of the Wild? Guess what? It's in your pocket right now.
And here's another big thing you got to think of. We're talking about possibly now they don't have one, and it kind of isn't, but it kind of is because it's a hybrid. The first Pokemon console game.
Yeah. Okay, so you have that. Another reason why this is strong for Nintendo. They have to split up their teams right now. They've had to split them up between Wii U development and 3DS development.
Right.
They said NX is not going to replace either of those. It's going to be on a pillar by itself. I disagree with that. I believe this console will replace both of those consoles.
It seems that way.
And it's smart for Nintendo because then you put all your chips into one basket. As far as like, this is our console. We no longer have a handheld department. We no longer have a console department. We have Nintendo department right here.
Well, and you're talking about the top. I mean, we all know this. The best handhelds ever are Nintendo. I mean,
yeah.
As of holding the market, you can argue, PS Vita is good, but as of right now, the 3DS is ruling the handheld market.
I mean, and it's even smaller than what it was. A lot of people move on to tablets and smartphones. The other interesting thing here is that Nintendo considered, but decided against, using a system that would be digital download only.
That's a good move.
I agree. I definitely agree, and I'm excited. I'm excited to hear more next month. And
here's a big question: do you think that they will make? They may have it in the works already. They may not, but a box to where you won't have to break down the NX or whatever it's going to be called, so that you'll have a like Wii U experience.
It really seems like they are going to go forward with, and I heard this rumor a long, long time ago, that this system will be released in 2 bits. You're going to get the handheld first and then the dock. And it really sounds like that you have to kind of buy them separately. You're probably going to get a bundle at some point if they don't do that right away. Them delaying it might actually mean that they're trying to make it, a bundle right away, and you may not have to do that anymore. But I honestly think that that is going to defeat their purpose, what they're trying to do with this. If they're trying to make this a handheld experience that you can take it home with you, chill out on your couch, plug that into your dock to where you don't have to worry about battery anymore. It's feeding to your TV. You have your controller right there, or your two halves of a controller, whatever. You're just sitting on your couch, chilling out, playing Zelda, playing Pokemon, whatever, and then maybe that's charging the handheld while it's on there. So then you're like, all right, dude, time to go. Time to go ride in the car. Get on the train for my commute. Click that back onto the screen, and you got your game with you. You don't even have to stop.
Well, here's the reason why I believe that they're going to have some type of way to be able to have a Wii U-like experience. Look at Zelda Wii U or Zelda the Wind
Waker,
whatever. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. That uses the dual screen. So,
wait, are you talking about the new one? It's not really going to utilize it as much as you think.
I mean, it shows the trailer showed them using the map. Well, the old trailer.
Well, okay, it's there, yes, but they have purposely designed this game not to be second screen dependent. So that way you can take it with you on the go. That's why I don't think they're going to do the Wii U type thing here, because I think that unit that you have in your hands is this unit, and just you plugging it into the dock is just you being able to do so, not you being able to have the dock and have a Wii U type experience, because that's a different thing. Basically what they've done here, dude, is that the Wii U, the little console, that's the bulk of the machine, and it sends a signal to the TV and to your gamepad.
Right, I know this. I'm just saying.
Hold on.
Would it be beneficial so that they could take some of those old Wii U games and port them over?
Well, they're already going to do so anyway. They've already announced Smash Brothers, Splatoon, Mario Kart. Some of those games are already coming over. And they're going to be fully playable on the go without a second screen, which is why I don't think they're going to invest in a second screen experience. Because basically what they've done is they've taken the power out of the console, put that into the handheld, and now the handheld talks to the dock to send that signal to the TV. I don't know how much power that dock is going to have.
We'll see. Yeah, I still believe that they'll have some way of doing that. That's just my thought process. I mean, if you have the ability to do it to where the dock can be like a receiver and basically it just sends the information through, why not?
See, to me, though, I don't really see them doing that because it's not going to necessarily be a receiver for other than you plugging your screen into it. I mean, wirelessly, I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's wise for them to do that. I think it's more. I think the general idea they have is better than that. As far as basically, I kind of feel like if you're doing both, then you're going to be putting too much into it, and we both know that Nintendo's a little bit more laid back with that. They don't like to overcomplicate things. I mean, the only thing they overcomplicated was the N64 controller. But I mean, besides that, man, they've really, they've done a lot of things right. Even when they do stuff wrong, like the Wii U, the concept of the Wii U is great. It's just not powerful enough. The idea is that console was almost sort of designed to keep them up in line with the PS3 360, but it wasn't built to last. And they were like, oh, the same audience is going to buy this thing, and that same audience had ditched them 3 or 4 years ago. You know, so I'm excited to learn more about this and get official answers, get official looking product, because how big is this thing going to be? It's got to be able to fit in the pocket.
Yeah. I don't.
A game coming to this console, though, is Dragon Quest X.
Yeah.
Which is an MMO. It is a Japanese MMORPG. It was released for the Wii U, It's coming out on Windows in China, and then it's coming to PS4 in Japan. If it's not out already, I don't. It has the release date as August 2nd, 2012, but they've been systematically releasing the game onto other systems. It's coming to NX as well. Apparently, it's also on the 3DS in Japan.
Huh.
And the reason why I mention this is because two of the games I have pre-ordered are Dragon Quest 7 and 8 on the 3DS. I currently have Dragon Quests 4, 5, 6, and 9 on the DS. So getting 7 and 8 on the 3DS. And then 10 on NX, if that comes to America. I actually don't know if that's coming to America yet. But they've also said Dragon Quest 11 has been announced for the NX. That means I need to get Dragon Quest 1 and 2, and then Dragon Quest 3 for the Game Boy Color, and I'll have all the Dragon Quest games for a Nintendo handheld.
Yeah.
I have Dragon Quest 8 on PS2. I read a little bit about Dragon Quest 7. They're going to have over 50 downloadable dungeons added to the game.
Wow.
Dragon Quest 7 is a 100-hour RPG from the PS1 era, then called Dragon Warrior 7. It is a complete remake from the ground up. It's been totally relocalized. Is basically, it's in line with newer Dragon Quest games. Dragon Quest 8 is actually just going to be a port of the PS2 version, with some, I think with an added dungeon or something like that. Now, this is really confusing because my pre-order for both of these games got moved out of September into December at a placeholder date, even though Dragon Quest 7 comes out in September. It just got, confirmed. Because beforehand it was like, oh wait, 8's going to come out first. And then they're like, no wait, 7's coming out first. And then it said, no wait, only the digital versions are coming out first. What about the physical copies? Ooh. So really, I want to know, guys. I want to know what the heck's going on with my Dragon Quest, because I'm not going to buy digital versions. Sorry, I'm just not going to do that with a sizable game like that. I really don't support digital digital purchases on games. I mean, for smaller stuff or indie stuff, sure, whatever. I'll get a free game, on PS Plus, Xbox Live, whatever. But I played the crap out of Rocket League, and they're either have or are coming out with a physical copy of that. I want it.
Right.
I don't want a digital copy of Rocket League. I liked it that much. But as far as upcoming games, other than my Dragon Quests that I have pre-ordered, just going to run through this. Some pretty big releases for the fall, next couple months. They are officially releasing the next World of Warcraft expansion at the end of this month. I should mention that No Man's Sky came out this month as well, just this week as we record this, actually, and that is a whopping $60. Cool. I mean, it looks neat. I want to play it. I just don't want to spend $60 for it. The exclusive to Xbox Recore, which is the team up between Inafune, which is he's synonymous with Mega Man, and the Metroid Prime developer. That's going to be a $40 game. It's going to be a little cheaper experience, not a big AAA experience. But I'm also
and it comes out on PC.
Is it also on PC?
It says PC, Xbox One, September 13th.
Oh, awesome. You mean September? Is that what you said?
September,
okay.
Yes.
Also that day is the BioShock HD collection. All 3 games coming to the PS4, Xbox One. And what else is coming out? Forza Horizon 3 for the Xbox One, coming out on September 23rd.
And PC. Everything now they're going PC, Xbox One.
Not everything. Most stuff in-house is. I did hear something about that where they kind of reclarified that not every single thing was going that way, but it was going to be most of the stuff in-house, first party is going that way.
Right, like Killer Instinct is staying on Xbox One only.
Is it? Yeah. Now FF15 coming out on the 30th.
I still haven't decided.
Tell you what, I hope it does well, and I'll tell you why. Number one, they put a lot of money into this. Number two.
Yeah,
Number
a
two.
lot of years.
Yeah, a lot of years, a lot of time and money. Okay, so I want this to do well because the better that this game does means the more Final Fantasy that we're gonna get.
True.
I mean, if this game totally freaking bombs, Square's gonna be in a panic.
Yep.
And that makes me worry about their remake of FF7. What are they going to do with that if this thing totally bombs? It doesn't look bad to me at all. It looks way more inviting to me than FF13 did.
Well, I mean, my biggest complaint was the camera behind the main character. It's just it felt kind of slow, a little sluggish. The nighttime, even with the 4K TV, got real dark.
Mm-hmm.
Got real dark. So I'm hoping in the updated version it showed, you got a little bit of magic, but everything was a little bit brighter. But that was a dream sequence. So hopefully it's a little brighter to see. I know that it's kind of trying to tell you, hey, you don't want to hunt at night because it's pitch black, but I'd like to be able to play.
Gears of War 4 comes out on October 11th, same as Rise of the Tomb Raider 20-year celebration. That is finally coming to PS4. Great game. I really liked Rise of the Tomb Raider. About that on the Xbox. It pretty much, if you like the first Tomb Raider, you'll love this. I mean, it's more of the same plus more.
Right.
So I mean, it's totally great. I mean, I can't say anything bad about it. It was really good. PSVR comes out on the 13th. Of course, a lot of games are going to be coming out for that. Probably rolling out. I really do hope that they plan on selling more of those Move wands. Especially getting those kind of out there in a separate purchase, because the Move sort of like flopped and fell off to the wayside. So it was finding those by themselves sometimes a crapshoot. I do have one, but I actually found one at Goodwill not too long ago. And I almost bought one. It was only like $3, but I actually decided against it. Battlefield 1, October 18th. And then
Last Guardian.
Huh?
The Last Guardian.
Yep, Last Guardian comes out on the 25th, along with Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2.
Yep.
And then on the 28th, Skyrim Special Edition.
Yeah. I got that one pre-ordered.
Yeah, and also on the 28th, Titanfall 2 is coming out. And then on the 31st, last one we'll do, Dragon Quest Builders, which is like a Dragon Quest meets Minecraft type thing. They're
Dragon Quest Builders?
Yeah, they're doing
I've got it for PS4 and Vita October 11th.
Yeah. Okay. This one has it on October 31st. This is on GameStop. So maybe whichever one which. I mean, it's either going to be that like that week or like a week later, week or two
Right.
later. One thing I want to note here, and I don't want to spend a whole lot of time, is that Battlefield comes out on the 18th. Titanfall 2 comes out on the 28th, and both of those big action games are from EA. And then after that, in November, is a special day called N7 Day. With
really?
with both of those days both those games being out already, now they can start the hype machine for Mass Effect, if that's indeed coming out in March. In fact, several BioWare people have mentioned how they really enjoyed how Fallout did their hype, how they did nothing until it was like, hey, 3 or 4 months from now the game is out, And here's a big data dump. Here's all you need to know about it. Even though they haven't done that completely, they did a little bit. They teased a lot, and they showed something, and then they basically this E3 they kind of teased more, and that's because they were trying to pull back. It's like they could show more, but I mean EA has some other. EA's like Bethesda, but EA is they own a lot of stuff. They have their eggs in a lot of different baskets, and they don't want a big Mass Effect data dump to overcloud Titanfall 2 or Battlefield or anything like that. Which I don't think that it would. Maybe it would overcloud Titanfall 2 because it's a Titanfall 2 is a much smaller IP compared to Battlefield, but
Right.
That's just my 2 cents. Now, right before we kind of close up shop here, this is something because you and me don't get to work together a whole lot anymore. I haven't had a chance to tell you about this, and I mentioned to you today that I said that this is going to be an extra topic here I wanted to talk about. It's called Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past Randomizer.
Yeah, and then So what is this?
All right, so you do have to get a ROM and play it on an emulator, okay,
Okay.
on your computer. But you take your ROM and you get this randomizer program, and you plug it in somehow. It randomizes all the items in the game.
Really?
Most every chest is now completely random. Not completely unplayable, but let's just say that you're going to have to try and find ways around stuff. Like, for example, going into the first dungeon, you get the blue boomerang.
All right.
The guy that I watched playing this thing did not. He got some arrows, which he did not have a bow for yet. And he got some bombs, but he got some heart pieces. And then when he did get a boomerang, he got the red boomerang, the magic one.
Huh.
And then right in his house, I believe the first item he got was the I believe it was oh crap, the moon pearl.
Oh, so that he can transform.
So he can go to the dark world, but he doesn't have the mirror. And then so he goes into the first dungeon and progresses as far as he can progress until he still doesn't have the bow. And there's some enemies in there that you cannot kill without the bow.
Right.
And so he got as far as he could, and then he had to leave. And then he saved up his rupees to go to where the flippers are. Paid 500 rupees for the flippers, and got 10 arrows.
Oh man, I'd be pissed.
So then, you've got to wander around. Oh, and then speaking of arrows, the spot where the Book of Menorah is,
Right.
was 1 arrow. And then there's that little race at the edge of that one town where you have to race and get a heart piece.
Right.
The first set of mitts were there. So now he can lift stones, but he still didn't have the bow.
He could lift stones. He couldn't get to the place where he needed to lift stones.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Like the whole stream I watched was like 2 hours long, and it was just him trying everything that he could do, even traveling into the dark world in a couple spots to try and open chests there, because he needed because he found the mirror, but he needed the flippers to get to the mirror, so he needed to find the flippers, or he needed I believe he got the fire rod. So and then he got the hook shot. And this is all without completing the first dungeon.
Wow.
It is really cool, and I want to try it sometime because it requires a deep knowledge of that game for Link to the Past, and I like to think I do have a lot of knowledge of that game. I've beaten that game probably more times than any other game ever.
Yeah.
So like I was watching it, and I was talking as he's going through it, and he's like trying to remember stuff, and he doesn't know the game that well. He knows it relatively well, but I'm like, no, that other one back there, you missed it. I'll go back. And so I know where certain stuff is. I don't know where every single heart piece is, but I know where a lot of the main item stuff are. Where a lot of the chests are and how to get places. So that's really cool thing that they come up with. I believe they also have randomizers for Pokemon as well.
Shoot.
Which I haven't looked up anything about it, but I've heard it's pretty chaotic.
First region, legendary Pokemon.
Yeah, like Brock has like Zapdos and
Yeah.
Mewtwo, and you're sitting there, and like your starter ends up being like a Pidgey.
Oh God, I'd be pissed.
But anyway, yeah. To wrap this thing up, dude. Thanks for hooking up on Skype and doing this.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're comfortable.
I know you're not.
No, it's actually not too bad. I've just been back here sipping on the best damn root beer. Drinking this. I have some leftover from like months ago, really. But that's how I drink my liquor. I buy some, drink a couple, and then they sit in the fridge until I get bored. But
There's some few things that you missed on the list.
did I?
Yeah. Well, I know that you only went, but November and December is very small.
I only wanted to do upcoming stuff up until the end of October because we're in August. I didn't want to go that far.
Right.
As far as like the news, I covered everything that I wanted to. I read every article I pulled up.
Fair enough.
For the end of the show, we are going to do what we call recommendations, where we pick something out of our collections, the game that we've played, and recommend that you play this game as well. I'm going to let Mike go first.
Oh, well, I kind of have a random one. I've kind of got two. Depends on what you're into. Metroid Other M is probably one of the better ones. It has more cinematics story mode where basically she's telling you her past and how she became who she was. So it's really cool for anybody that's a big Metroid fan. And then, if that's not your cup of tea, The Strike, the Bass Hunter, the fishing game, it's actually pretty realistic and it's a lot of fun. It's very frustrating. It reminds me a lot of trying to actually fish, and it sucks. It's a lot of driving around, a lot of finding the places to fish, but it's a lot of fun, very realistic, and it's hot right now, so can't really fish. But those are my recommendations. I had two.
Both of those are on the Wii. All about the Wii
Yes.
this month.
Well, that's all I purchased this in the last couple pickups was all Wii games. Only.
My recommendation is a game I have not purchased in a while. I purchased this game a long time ago, and honestly, this is a pretty bad recommendation, but I wanted to talk about the game anyway. It's a game that you can no longer purchase.
Oh, you can't purchase it anymore.
No, it was on Xbox Live and PlayStation Network as a downloadable game only. It is Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Really?
And this is a harken back to old school games. It reminds you of like a 16-bit era side scroller beat 'em up. The levels are based off of like the map. It reminds you of Super Mario 3.
Huh.
And then the levels play like Final Fight, Streets of Rage, stuff like that, and it's multiplayer. For I believe up to 4 players. I don't know if it's. I know me and Rob played it, and then there was a DLC pack that came out for it as well. The problem is that this got released in 2010, and while it was a tie-in with the movie, right?
Right.
All the characters look like they're comic book variations. So it's a tie-in to the comic book more so than like the movie itself.
Right.
But it was the movie that really inspired this to be made because that was pretty hot at the time. And it's a really fun, awesome game. With boss battles and everything. Great soundtrack. And yeah, I know you can't buy it. You can't even play it now if you didn't buy it back then.
It's very unfortunate.
It is basically a lot of times with these licenses deals is that they expire. And
Yeah.
Ubisoft had the license to it, and it expired, and it got pulled from the stores, and you can't buy it. It's gone. Thankfully, hopefully, I think I re-downloaded it on my new Xbox or on my Slim before it got taken down. I hope so. I want to say I have it on there, so I can still play it.
See, you can't even bring it up to re-download it anymore.
Nope, it is off the store completely. So if you have it, you can play it. So that's my recommendation. If you have it, play it.
That's a good thing I had to.
So yeah, because I thought about it because I have another game also that you cannot download anymore, and that is the remake of Turtles in Time.
Yes.
Turtles in Time Reshelled. They completely remade the arcade version of that game, put it on the PS3, put it on Xbox, and it's great. It's awesome. Great. Yeah, it's I downloaded it in like '08. Is one of the first things I downloaded. Uh, as far as like actual full game wise, and it's no longer on the store because whoever put it up, whoever had the license deal, lost it, and it's off the store. And you know what? It sucks. Same with
Yeah.
PT. You know, PT got pulled off the store. You can't even re-download it, and I still have it on my PS4.
Yeah. I'm assuming though that the reason why, like we all know.
Well, yeah, the whole deal with that, with Kojima went down. But I mean, yeah,
It's okay.
Scott,
Kojima's pulling it back on his own.
he's gonna do his own thing, and it'll be delightfully weird and awesome. Um, yeah, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. If you guys own it, you probably already know about it. But definitely play that game. As if you have a friend that has it, check it out. I mean, it's especially if you like that old school side scroller beat 'em up. It's just it is fun. It is fun. And Mike, sometime when you come down, I'm gonna have to show you that. I have two controllers. We're gonna have to play a little bit of it
Hash it out.
because
Yeah, we gotta.
I mean, yeah, because honestly, I think that it's something. It's like a newer game designed to be like an older game in tribute, and while doing its own thing,
Right.
and shit like that's just awesome. So, with that being said, I believe we've reached the end of our program. I want to thank Mike. Thank you for taking time out of your night, link up with me, and talk about video games.
Yep. No problem.
If I sound tired, that's because I am. It is now 10:30 at night, and I drank an alcoholic beverage, which probably was a bad idea. But I wanted to unwind, and unwind I did. But yes, a lot of cool gaming stuff going on. Admittedly, I want an Xbox One S, even though I can't buy one. I'll be honest with you, it looks sexy, and I don't even really like white consoles, and it looks awesome. The Bluetooth controller, it now has Bluetooth. Can you imagine that?
Oh,
Xbox One controller has Bluetooth. So yeah, man, really excited to see how well they do. Xbox, man, if they can keep up with their systems, with the Scorpio, with their exclusives, they are poised to make the kind of comeback that PlayStation did in the last run, because PlayStation really hasn't been putting out enough exclusive games to warrant buying a PlayStation.
I tell you what, the momentum they're gaining from this is awesome. I mean, they're doing all the right things. They're on point right now.
Yeah,
They're
and
surprising me because I switched back. I was very upset about their whole digital only thing.
oh yeah. But I mean, it's just a matter of I kind of expected it once Phil Spencer took over, for him to like start steering the ship back. Um, he definitely has a vision for what he wants Xbox to be, and we've kind of seen that come to fruition with the merging, if you will, of the Microsoft Store and Xbox into something new and different over here.
Right.
But even just as an Xbox brand as a whole, he has a different vision. PlayStation hasn't been doing anything wrong per se. It's just they haven't had the big exclusives. I mean, other than Uncharted.
Right.
I mean, and Bloodborne was good, and that was it. I mean, unfortunately, The Order didn't live up. Unfortunately, Drive Club didn't live up. Unfortunately, Infamous, good game, just didn't live up. And they need that. They need Gran Turismo. They need the new God of War looked amazing. That's going to be a big system seller.
Yes.
So, and then that new zombie game, Days Gone, that's going to be one that's probably going to sell some units as well. And then you'd have to think that somewhere down the line they've got Naughty Dog working on a Last of Us sequel.
Yeah.
And then also they got their own Spider-Man game coming out too. So.
And Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yep. Forgot about that one. Wow, I can't believe I forgot about that one. That one comes out around the same time as Mass Effect.
That's a big one that I'm looking forward to.
Anyway, I'm going to try and end this show for the second time.
Right.
Thank you guys for listening to this show, the Game Addicts Podcast, right here on the Journey into Comics YouTube channel, exclusive. Sometimes, right here. Sometimes we cross over when there's not a show on the main channel. We've actually talked about doing that more. We're like, if if we have trouble getting together for a show, instead of just doing a solo cast, if there is a side cast that we can do, just to plug that into the main feed, to just kind of remind our listeners who don't check out the YouTube channel that these shows are here. A little bit of incentive to check this out. This is what we do. So, don't, if you're on the main feed and you see an episode of this show, don't freak out. It's just because, we had trouble getting together. And then me and Mike were able to get together. And we were planning on doing so anyway, but now we're going to put it on the main feed. But otherwise, we're all right here. Most episodes are going to be right here on a playlist on the YouTube channel. Check us out. Subscribe to here to help this channel grow. I know we don't do video stuff. That is hopefully coming within the next year or so, if I can figure that out.
Hopefully.
I have a lot of plans. I have a lot of stuff that needs to be done. Unfortunately, that takes money, and, well, I got a kid. And a nasty video game collecting habit to kick in order to make this happen.
Yes.
But, Mike, thanks again for coming on. Thanks for sitting here talking to me. Thank you for listening and checking out this podcast. Check us out as Journey into Comics on Instagram, on Facebook, JSE Podcast on Twitter, at journeyintocomics.podbean.com, where you can subscribe. We're on iTunes. We're on Google Play Music. And we are right here on YouTube. Thank you for listening, and we will see you later.